Hey, what's going on guys? Today we are inside of Affinity Publisher V2, and in today's video I want to show you how you can put together a children's illustrated book for any of you guys that may be self-publishing and don't necessarily have the funds available to hire a professional illustrator. So as you can see in this project right here, this is a project I've been working on for around the past year or so, and I do have all of my stories written. However, I just haven't had the time to finish this due to all the illustrations that I've had to create for this. So you can see over here on the left hand side, this is my image that I'm going to use for this story. So this is going to be the image inside of my book, as well as the title over here which says Lillian's Birthday Party. And I did have my story here originally, however for the video I did remove that and just fill that with some filler text, as I haven't published my book yet, so I don't necessarily want to have that content visible right now. And I've done that across each one of these pages. I've just changed the story just with some filler text. So as you can see, I've got all of my individual stories and pictures here ready for my book to be published. And all of the images that you can see here on the left hand side, I have drew all of these myself using my iPad and Affinity Designer with the Apple Pencil. And this image right here of this girl that I drew, this took me around 2 to 3 hours all in all to draw this, and that is just for one story on its own. Next one, I've got this one right here, and this is kind of the same thing. It took a couple of hours to draw this one because you've got to account for the highlights and the shadows, all the individual colors. And because I drew this using Affinity Designer, this is all done with vector shapes and the vector pencil. So that took a little bit longer than maybe drawing this in Procreate. So you can see that some of these images are a lot more detailed than others. This one, for instance, took me a couple of hours as well. And this one took a couple of hours. Some are not as good as the other ones. I'm not a great drawer. I'm not too bad at it. But there are definitely better people out there at drawing than I am. So after making my way through my book, drawing all these images, I got a little bit frustrated as it was taking far too long for me to try and get this completed. So like most people, I just went onto the internet and I started looking at maybe paying someone else to draw these images for me, so I could spend a little bit more time on just creating the stories rather than the illustrations. And I went to different sites such as Fiverr, where you can outsource and you can find hundreds of different digital artists which will draw your images for you, which I thought was great because you can be as specific as you like and get exactly what it is that you wanted out of the drawing. However, what I did find is that it's really expensive and it was far beyond my budget. I think I was getting quoted around £150 to £200 per drawing, and all that actually covered was the subject, so that would generally be just this girl here. If you wanted a background in your image, you'd be paying extra for that. So for me, I decided not to go down that road. Then I came across Canva, which gave me the ability to put together a professional looking illustration in just a few minutes. And we'll talk about that in just a moment. But before I continue, I just want to quickly say that all of these images here that I did took me probably around 30 hours all in all to draw all of these. And I'm going to show you just how quick it is to do this in Canva, where you could generally create the same amount of pages that I've got here in probably just 5 minutes time. And for me, I really do wish I knew about this sooner, as it would have saved me so much time with this project and I would have had it self-published by now. But moving on with the tutorial, let's go ahead and set up our book which we're going to create for our content. So if we go up to File, go down to where it says New, then inside of our new document setup, what we want to do is choose a size book that you would like to use if you are going to go ahead and print this. So if you head over to Google and just search for the most popular size kids book, you'll find something that you may want to work with. This specific one I've got in the background here is an 8x10, and that is one of the most popular ones that I know of. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and copy this one right here. So just down here where we have the page width and height, we're going to change the document units to be in inches, and we're going to change the width to be 8, and we'll change the height to be 10. Then what we want to do next is make sure that your DPI is set to 300, as that is going to be the industry standard for printing to give you the best quality. And you also want to be working inside the CMYK. Next, we're going to head over to our Pages tab, and we're going to turn on facing pages to give us a left and a right page. Then we want to choose a number of pages that we want for our project. I'm going to leave that as 10 at the moment, but we can always add and remove pages later on down the line if you want to. So what we want to do next is set up margins if you guys want to use that. At the moment, I'm not going to apply any margins to this project. However, I may come back to that a little bit later on. So for now, I'll go ahead and leave that unchecked. And if you guys want to print edge to edge on your images, as you can see right here, then what you need to do is account for your bleed. So we'll go ahead and we'll just turn that bleed on as well inside of our bleed tab. All you got to do is make sure if you are in inches, you have this same number right here, which is 0.118, and you're going to have that on the inner, the outer, the top and the bottom. If you're working inside of millimeters, then you're going to want 3 millimeters on each one of these boxes. Then once you've set that up, go ahead and just hit that create button. And now we have our blank project. So what I want to quickly do from here is I want to go to the master pages up here where it says master A, double tap on there. And this is where we're just going to set up a few little things that we're going to need with our project, such as your page number. And creating page numbers inside of Affinity Publisher is really easy. All you've got to do is head over to the left hand side toolbar menu. You're going to select your frame text tool. Then all you got to do is just draw out a frame text box to any size that you would like. That will be perfectly fine. Then what you want to do after that is head up to the top menu bar to where it says text. Make your way down towards the middle to where it says insert. Go over to where it says fields and just choose that page number right there. And that is all you have to do in terms of creating the page number. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that, and I want to center align this. So I'm going to make my way up to the top menu bar and use that center align. Then next I'm going to grab my move tool and just move it into position, so somewhere towards the bottom, and I'm going to drag that to the left hand side of the page and let that snap, and I'll do that also in the middle, so I know that is dead center of this page. And we're going to want this over the other side as well on the right hand side. So the quickest way of doing that is just to make a copy. So we hit Command or Control C to copy and Command or Control V to paste. Go ahead and just drag that over and let that snap on the other side. And now our page numbers are complete. So if we go to any of these pages over here on the left hand side by double tapping, you can now see that we have all of our page numbers, starting with page 1 on that single page. Then we've got 2 and 3, 4 and 5, 6 and 7, etc. And the amount of pages that you create will automatically generate the numbers for you. So you don't have to worry about adding or removing any pages. That will just update for you automatically. So going back to our master page, what we want to do is set up our content area for our title and our story. So once again, if we make our way over to the left hand side and we grab our frame text tool and we draw out a text frame just like before, make this any size that you would like. What I do recommend though is that you allow a bit of breathing space in the middle to where your spine's going to be. And the size that you're going to need here is going to be dependent to how many pages you have inside of your book. If you only have around 10 pages, you could probably bring this all the way over to around there. If you find you end up with maybe 50 to 60 pages, you're going to have to bring that in a little bit more. So for now, I'll leave that just the way it is. And this side is looking okay. I'll maybe go a little bit closer to the edge and the top just a little bit higher. Then what we're going to do inside of here, as we don't have any content right now, is we're going to right click and we're just going to choose that insert filler text. And now that will just act as a visual guide of the content that we're going to put in there. And what we want to do as well is add a title of our story above that. So we'll go ahead and just drag out another text frame around the same size. If you let that go ahead and snap, it's going to be the same size as the one underneath. And then you can just type in anything you like in there, such as title of your story. Then I'll hit Command or Control A to select all. I want to center that as well with the center align. And I'm going to go ahead and make that a little bit bigger. I'm not going to spend too much time on choosing the perfect font or size, as I want this video to be a little bit quicker. So I'll go ahead and just choose that 24 for now. I'm going to go ahead and grab my move tool once again. And now we created this placeholder here on our master page. You can see that it's copied that across all of our other pages down here. But all we generally got to do once we have our content for our stories is we can tap inside any of these and we can remove that text. And you can just manually type in anything you like inside of here if you want to just type your story inside of Affinity Publisher. Or if you've already written it out inside of Microsoft Word or Pages, then just simply go ahead and copy and paste that inside of there. And that's going to be the same principle with your title. You can go ahead and just change that to anything that you would like. and that is going to be the same across any of these pages. We can make our way down and you can edit all of this and just change it to anything that you want. So really, like I said, all this is a placeholder. So once we start bringing in our images, we can get a rough idea of how our book is going to look. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and undo that and get these 2 pages back to where they was to begin with. So we can go ahead and start bringing some images in. And now we'll talk about how we can create some professional images inside of Canva, which we're going to go ahead and import into our project right here. So first of all, you want to head over to Canva either via the website or by the app. For me, I have the Canva app installed already, so I'll go ahead and open that up. Then what we want to do inside of here is make our way up to the top menu bar to this plus symbol. Go ahead and select that. Then you're going to choose custom size. Then inside of your width and your height, you want to change that to 8 by 10, which I already have here. That is going to be the same size as our book that we have in Affinity Publisher. Then once you've done that, go ahead and just create that new design. And now what we want to do is start searching for the images that we're going to use for our book. So what we're going to do first of all is we're going to go over to the left hand side to where it says elements. Go ahead and select that one. And inside of the search menu bar just at the top here, we're going to search for a background to start with. So you could just type in something like cartoon background and just see what comes up. So I'll just search cartoon real quick and I'll go down to where it says photos. I want to see all inside of here. And here's one right away, so we'll go ahead and select that and drag that in. And I'm just going to go ahead and resize that to fit the page and then just put that into frame where I want it to go. So somewhere roughly around that size so I know it fits. And I'll go ahead and just drag that over to the other side. So there is our background done in literally 3 seconds. So I do want to mention at this point that this one here is a premium image inside of Canva Pro. And I do definitely recommend that you guys go ahead and use Canva Premium, as you're going to have access to all these high quality images that you are allowed to use and sell them inside of your own projects. What happens is every time that you download a premium image, you automatically get a license for that image, which then gives you the right to sell the image inside of your own project. And for around $9.99 a month, I generally think Canva Pro is definitely the way forward and is really cheap in terms of paying somebody else to do this. So if you guys want to give Canva Pro a try and go ahead and see what you can create, there is a link in the description and you do get a month free trial as far as I'm aware. So go ahead and give that a try and see what you can create. So what I find really useful with Canva is because we just dragged in this image right here, just down below that you can see we have this magic recommendations, and that is based on the kind of image that you've already brought in. So you can see if we go ahead and open up this one, we have all different types of backgrounds which are similar. So we can go ahead and use any of these, and you can see they've got the crowns on them, so they are part of the pro subscription. You can get some of these for free. However, they're not going to be as high quality as the pro ones and may not have been drawn by professional illustrators. But because we've got our background already inside of here, I'll go ahead and just go back on that. So this is going to be based on the kind of story that you've written. So I'm just going to go ahead and put together anything here, maybe just a princess story. So I'll go ahead and maybe search for a castle. And now you can see that we have all of these different castles in here that we can use inside of our image. So just right here, this one is a free one as it doesn't have the crown on there. And like I said, you are going to find some in here that are free to use. So go ahead and use a free membership if you like. That one there does have a crown, so that's a premium one. And just to show you that you can use some free ones, I'll go ahead and use a few of those as well. So I use this castle right here, which is a free one to use. So I'll select that and drag that into my project. And I'm just going to move this and position it roughly to where I want to go. So I think I'll put that at the end of the path just over here. So I'm going to put that roughly around there. And there is our castle inside of our background. So what we're going to do now is find ourselves a subject. So we can go ahead and look for a princess. So back here in the top menu bar, we just type in princess. And as you can see, just like before, we have plenty of different images of princesses that we can use. Some being free and some being premium. And for me, I have a premium membership of Canva as I use this as part of my business. So for me, this is a business expense. But if you guys are going to be making money from Canva, then I definitely recommend that you go ahead and buy the premium subscription. Okay, so moving on with this, we'll go ahead and select a princess that we're going to use for our story. So I'll choose that one right there. I'll go ahead and just drag her and drop her in and resize it to the rough size that I want. So somewhere around that size, I think will be perfectly fine. And just move her into position. Then finally, I just want to add just something in the background, maybe a horse, just to finish off this image. Whoops, I spelled that wrong, but it's found one anyway, so I'll go ahead and leave that. So I'll go and grab that horse right there. I'll just go and drag that into the image. I'm going to resize that, as I think I want my horse just to be stood outside of the gate in the background. So I'm going to size that accordingly to make it look a little bit better. And just drag him into position. Somewhere around there will be perfectly fine. And then that generally is it for this image. We can go ahead and save that and bring that into Affinity, which we'll do in just a moment. But before I do that, I just want to create a couple of more pages just to show you how quick it is without me talking you through all of this. So first of all, we'll go ahead and create a new page. And once again, we'll go ahead and search for a cartoon background. Then we'll go down to photos, open that up and see what we have inside of here. Just have a quick look. And there's one right there which looks pretty good. So I'll go ahead and drag that one in. And with this one, this could be a story of maybe a crocodile. So I'll go ahead and just search for a crocodile. And right now we don't want to be on photos. We want a graphic of our crocodile. So we'll go ahead and switch over to graphics. And I think I'll use this one right here of this little baby crocodile. I'll go ahead and drag him in and resize it. And I think I'll have him stood on this rock right there. Maybe make that just a little bit bigger. And then we can just add a few additional characters in here. As you can see, we have the magic recommendations again. So if we go ahead and open up that and see what kind of characters are in here, I think I'll use that kangaroo. So I'll drag him over and resize that as well. He can be part of the background. So I'll just resize that to be a bit smaller. And that could be the crocodile's friend. And I think I'll use that koala as well, just as a final image. So I'll just drag that down and put this roughly into position. Rotate that a little bit, I think. And I'm going to have him up here somewhere, just in the side of the image. So you've seen how quick that was to put that together. So finally we do one more page, and I think we'll use this monkey here as a main subject. So we'll just drag and drop him in. I'm going to put that roughly into the corner so we get rid of that vine. Then we just need a background for this, so we'll go off the magic recommendations. I'm going to search for jungle. Then we've got a background right here, so I'll drag and drop that in, and we'll just go ahead and fill the canvas with that one. Make sure that we fit the entire thing. Then just go and move that into place or where you want it to go. And what we need to do here is send this to back. So if we right click on our mouse and we choose send to back, and now we can see our monkey again. Then what I'm going to do next, just to finish this off and make it look like a little bit more unique, is just add in a couple more elements, maybe these leaves right here. So I'll drag and I'll drop that into the picture as well. Move that into place and just snap that over to the other side. Then to finish this off, I think I'll just drag in this sign here to be quick. Go ahead and just resize that to the rough size that you want. Put that into position. What I want to do now is just send this backwards, so it's behind our monkey and these leaves. So we'll right click on that, send backwards, right click again and send backwards. And then that should do perfectly fine. And now that looks really good, and you see just how quick we put together these 3 different images. So what we want to do now is export these and bring them into Affinity Publisher. And to do that, we're just going to go up to the top left hand side to where it says share. Then we're going to change our file type here to JPEG, and you want to just have the maximum size and quality here, just to give you really good print quality. Inside of the select pages, just make sure that you select all 3 of these. Choose done. Go ahead and select download, and then that will ask you to save it to your computer. Then once you've saved your images to your desktop or another location on your computer, what we need to do then is bring those images into Affinity Publisher. So just for a moment, I'm going to go back to our master pages while we set this up for our images. So we'll double tap on our master A. Then what I want to do next is turn on our bleed lines that we created at the beginning of the project. And the way that we would do that is by going up to the view menu on the top menu bar, go down, and we're going to choose that show bleed. And now you can see that we have these lines on the outside of our document, which are going to be our bleed lines. Then what we're going to do next is head over to the left hand side toolbar menu, and we want to choose this tool right here, which is the picture frame rectangle tool. So go ahead and select that one. Then we want to snap into the corner of these bleed lines just here on the top left hand corner, and just drag that over the bleed lines, snapping that on the top and at the bottom, and then just snap that into the middle of the page like that. Then this is going to be used to hold our images inside of there. So what we need to do next now is go back down to our pages. So first of all, we'll go to page 2 so we can add the image in here. Then back over to the left hand side toolbar menu, we're going to grab our move tool and we'll go ahead and we'll select this picture frame tool. And with that selected, what we're going to do next is head back over to the left hand side toolbar menu once again, and we're going to choose this place image tool. So once we select that, that will navigate to your images, and then you're just going to find the one that you want to use first of all. So first of all, we'll start off with our princess image, which is this one right here. So I'm going to double tap just to bring that in. And now you can see that has moved exactly where we need it to go. And then we'll go down to our next page. We're going to select this rectangle picture frame tool as well. Back over to the left hand side. And we're going to once again choose that place image tool. This time around we will choose our crocodile image. Double tap on that one. Then we'll go ahead and go to page 3. Select that image place tool as well. Again with this picture frame. And then we'll bring in that monkey one. And that is all 3 of our images brought into the project. And what we're going to do now is just turn off these bleed lines as we don't need to see them anymore. So if we go back up to the view menu on the top menu bar, turn off that show bleed. And now we can see this is how it's going to look. So at this point, all we've got to do now we've got our images in here is go ahead and double tap on our title. And you can just change that to be anything that you like. It's entirely up to you. Select that text, either delete that and type this in manually for your story, or just simply copy and paste that from another program. And you're going to do the same thing across each one of these. So you can see we have our bounding boxes visible still, which are in blue right here. If you don't want to see any of that, then all you got to do is go up to the top menu bar to where it says toggle preview mode. Go ahead and select that and they'll disappear. And then that is truly a representation of how it will look if we printed this. But that generally is how easy it is to put yourself together an illustrated kids book. So like I said, if you do want to give Canva a try, there is a link in the description and you do get a free trial for around a month. So that is it for today's video. I hope you found it useful and you learned something new, and I will see you in the next one.